Hello, hello, practice builders, and welcome. So happy to see you all here with me today. I want to welcome those of you who are listening to the live broadcast, as well as those who are catching the replay. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And so I'm excited today to talk to you about Facebook Lives. Many of you have been asking questions, and with everything going on, it's just such an incredible way to increase your visibility. And I really think that's the name of the game right now, seeing that many of our referral sources, the ways that we have gotten clients in the past, all that has pretty much shifted and changed right now, given coronavirus and everything, kind of being at a standstill. So it's really important that we find ways to increase our visibility and really be able to develop that know, like, and trust with our audience in other ways. So today we are going to do part 2 of Push the Damn Button. And today specifically, we are going to be talking about a couple, actually 3 critical steps. So I'm going to share 3 critical steps that you need to take to rock your live streams and actually to maximize your engagement with your audience, which, as you'll see, is super important. All right, so today, specifically, you're going to learn 3 things, all right? So you're going to learn 5 reasons why video beats pre-recorded video every time, why you need to reverse engineer your Facebook Lives to ensure that you're providing a desired outcome for your audience, as well as a few critical keys to increase engagement with your audience. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Lesli Bitel. Again, warm welcome to everyone who's joining me live, as well as those of you who are listening to the replay. I am a business strategist and a coach for dietitians and integrative functional health professionals. And really what I do in my work is I help health professionals in private practice to overcome that sense of confusion, that sense of overwhelm when it comes to the business side of creating a profitable practice. So really what I do is to help you put all those pieces together in a really simple and streamlined way so that you can make a great living doing the work that you love. So let's dive in, shall we? So first of all, before we get to our first topic of the day, let me know, yes or no, have you ever gone live? Have you ever yet pushed that damn button? I'm really curious to get a sense of, where everyone's at so far. So just give me a yes or a no. While you do that, I do want to address a really important thing, and that is why Facebook Live? Well, why lives in general, right? Why go live? Why not just, upload a pre-recorded video into your feed? So I get that question a lot. And so I want to share actually a handful of reasons. I think I have about 5 that I want to share with you. So the first reason is that Facebook Live videos are actually watched 3 times longer than videos that aren't live. So that's huge, right? People just love live videos. So they're actually staying on longer, 3 times longer than just a normal uploaded, video. Users tend to comment 10 times more than regular video. So again, they're not only watching longer, sticking around for a longer period of time, but they're actually engaging much more, 10 times more than a pre-recorded video. And so a couple of other reasons is live video is just, it's more appealing than other types of marketing. In fact, they have found, the infamous they, right? No, actually market research, they have actually looked at, what types of content audiences prefer. from a specific brand. And basically, they found that 80% of people would rather watch a live video than to, consume content in other ways, such as reading a blog. So 80% of people prefer to watch a live video in comparison to other channels, such as reading a blog. So that's pretty significant as well. And then Facebook favors live video, right? And so that's one of the reasons why it's really important that if you can, do live video instead of just uploading your pre-recorded video, because Facebook and actually all the platforms they favor live video. And what that means for you is that your audience is more likely to see it, because Facebook is going to push this out to more people if it was recorded live. All right. So those are a few really good reasons to to really focus on trying to get up the courage to push the damn button. All right. So let's go on to the next thing. So what I want to talk about next is why you need to reverse engineer your Facebook Lives to ensure that you are providing a desired outcome. So essentially here, what I want to teach is that it's really important every single live broadcast. Now, let me preface this by saying you don't have to overthink this, okay? Please don't, spend too much time on this, but just think to yourself, what is the desired outcome that I would like my audience to take away as a result of watching my live? All right. So it's just important to, give that a little bit of thought before you push the button. And so essentially, before you push the go live button, you want to, again, reverse engineer by starting with the end point in mind. So you're going to brainstorm what you want to achieve in the broadcast. Otherwise, you're at higher risk for rambling. Right. And so, people we value our time. Time is, a commodity that is in short supply. Right. So we really want to be clear before we push the button. What is that end result that I'm trying to convey or teach my audience? And so what is the big takeaway message that you want to communicate in your broadcast is really the message here. And then ask yourself, what is in it for them? In other words, what's in it for my audience? And again, with time being, a limited resource, you want to give your viewers reasons to tune into your live stream, really by highlighting what they're going to learn. And so moving on really to the next point, what I want to do next is share with you some really critical keys to help you to increase your engagement with your audience. So these critical keys I have found to be really helpful in terms of, really helping my audience not only learn about the live stream that's going to be happening, but also to really help increase that engagement. And remember, the more engagement that you have on your live streams, the more Facebook is going to favor your stuff and push it out to more people. So that's super important. So here's a little format that I like to use whenever I sit down and put my lives together. So it goes something like this. So first, you're going to welcome viewers. And again, you're going to want to welcome viewers, those that are there live, as well as those who are catching your recording. You are going to try to pepper engagement type questions into, throughout your narrative, right? So you want to try to ask a quick and easy question up front, like, hey, where are you from? Drop me a comment and let me know what city and state you're from, something really easy. And you want to try to pepper those types of questions throughout your live stream, just to keep the engagement going. And you're going to want to establish your expertise by telling your viewers who you are, who you work with, and basically what you do. I like to call this the what do you do statement. It's basically, I guess it would be synonymous with your quick elevator pitch. But basically here, you want to make sure that you're really clear on who it is you help, what are the problems you solve, and what are some of the transformations that you help people to achieve. So pretty straightforward, right? You just want to try to include that, at the beginning part of your live stream. All right. Then you want to let your audience know what topic you're going to be covering. And, I like to do this for the most part, give three big takeaways that my audience is going to get as a result of listening to my live stream. So I like to think of these as like bullet points. So like three big, overarching bullet points that they are going to learn as a result of tuning in. And you do want to try to make sure that these are oriented around solving your audience's key pain points, right? So really, and that's a super important thing to keep in mind as you try to think of topics for your live streams. I think that it's really a good idea to think about, what do they need to know, right? What do they need to know that perhaps they don't even know they need to know? And what are some of the things that they're asking, right? What are some of the common questions that your audience is asking you? So I would try to divide, your content into those two buckets. I think that'll give you, a really good format to follow. Again, that's topics that they need to know, but maybe they don't know they need to know. And then the second category would be questions that they're actually overtly asking you. And so these questions are really oriented around solving your audience's key pain points. All right, so then you want to move into why should they tune in? Why should they listen? What's in it for them? Even just a quick statement around that would be really enticing for your audience, and then they're more apt to say, "Oh my gosh, I got to catch this," right? Then you want to go through your 2 or 3 or 4 teaching points that you want to share with your audience. And again, I would recommend that in between each of these, you try to add an engagement type question. So like if you have 3 main bullet points that you're sharing, 3 main, I guess, topics or takeaways, in between, try to pepper in those engagement questions. Again, those really easy wins, super easy questions to answer, right? Nothing too deep. And then you're going to summarize. And then you want to make sure that you're adding a call to action, right? So this is something that a lot of people forget. So I really want to emphasize after you've invested, your audience has invested time viewing your Facebook Live, very likely they are going to be interested in taking a next step. So you, as the presenter, you need to identify what is that next step I want my audience to take. That is called your call to action or your CTA. All right. So you definitely, after you summarize, you want to add your call to action, whatever that next step is. It could be, visit, XYZ URL to read my blog that goes, a little deeper on this topic. You could invite the person to download, a worksheet or a template or an ebook or something like that, and you give them the URL to do that. You could ask your audience to, share the live with other people that could be interested in this topic, tag other people. You could even invite them to message you with additional questions. So really the point being here in this segment is you just want to really be cognizant of adding that call to action, because again, that's something that a lot of people overlook and they just kind of tend to forget. All right, so you also want to include how they can contact you for more information, right? So maybe give your website address, your, maybe your email, however you want people to reach out to you should they have more questions. So, all right, so those are some of the main tips I have to share in terms of how you want to format your show. Right? So the next thing I'm going to share is I want to talk to you a little bit about, like I said, I'm going to share tips to help you to increase the engagement during your live stream. So There's actually, and I'm going to divide this into three parts just for the sake of simplicity. I'm going to share what to do before your live stream, what to do during your broadcast, and what to do after. All right. So here we go. So in terms of increasing level of engagement before your broadcast go live. So first, you're going to try to create a title for your video. That's super important because it really grabs the attention of your audience, and they're, oh my God, I see this, I don't want this. So come up with a really great title, a real catchy title, I think is super important. So you're definitely going to just, again, don't overthink it, but just try to come up with an outcome-oriented title, right? That is kind of memorable and catchy, so that when people see it in this, when they're scrolling in their feed, it's going to stop them in their tracks, right? All right. So then again, we're talking about things to do before. You are going to want to create a Facebook event. So assuming again that you're doing your live on Facebook, you are going to create an event on your Facebook page, on your business page specifically. And you can also, this is a good idea as well. I would recommend that you get in the habit of sending an email like an hour before your event, just to remind your email list, your database, that you're about to go live. And in that email, you can include the title, of course, include the link so they can just click the link really easily and catch your live stream. And include just a few bullet points they're going to take away from as a result of watching your stream. So if you can get in the habit of doing that, I think that would make a huge difference. Also, to the extent possible, I would recommend you share the event in other groups wherever permissible, right? So, you just want to get as many eyeballs on that event as you possibly can. And you can even include in your post, you can say, something like, be sure to click get reminders, that get reminders little button, so that they indeed get reminders when you go live for that event. All right, so now we're going to move to what to do during the broadcast, again, to increase the level of engagement. So what you're going to want to hear, again, this is a little bit of reviewed by now, but I want to emphasize, you want to ask really easy questions, like where they're tuning from, what, I asked, have you ever done a big live, yes or no? Really easy, right? It's just simple, yay or nay. Just think of things that are kind of no-brainer types of questions that you can ask people, just to increase that level of engagement with your audience, so it's not feeling, like you're talking at them. You are going to want to encourage shares, likes, and thumbs ups, hearts, that kind of thing. And you do also want to answer questions that come up right during your stream. I tell you, it depends. Like, you're going to repurpose your cast is another whole topic. I'm not going to take a deep dive into that today. However, if your intention is take these live streams and repurpose those, for example, maybe you're going to do Facebook Live and you're going to repurpose for like YouTube, for example. What I would recommend there is that you be cognizant of really having a lot of your questions and comments, you're addressing those in the front end and the back end of your live stream. And the reason is because, like, you're going to move this piece of content on over to YouTube, for example. Basically, you're going to loft the end and the back end, so they got like a concise 10-minute or so video to upload. So you don't necessarily want all the comments and kind of back and forth on the other platform. So what I like to recommend, again, this is only, if you plan on repurposing, just maybe be cognizant of having most of your engagement, addressing comments, welcoming people, that kind of thing on the front end and the back end of your video. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. All right, so we've talked about, tips to engage your audience before you go live, during your broadcast. Now, let's talk about a few things that you can do after the broadcast ends. So, after the broadcast ends, what I recommend is that you auto generate captions for the video. And you can do this through Facebook. There are also some applications that you can use. I know a really common one, and one that I happen to use myself, is called rev.com. It's rev.com. And so, but it's a really simple process. Rev.com costs like $1 per minute. So, it's relatively affordable. Facebook, you can do it for free. I think they're improving that process. There's, obviously pros and cons, right? Anytime something is free, it's going to require a little bit more work on your side of the street, but that's okay. Do whatever works for you. The bottom line is it's a really good idea to add captions to your video, and then you want to circle back after your video has ended. I highly recommend that you circle back and just address any questions that you may have missed. Right? So just address any questions, answer any questions that come up in the comment section. Go ahead and, like all positive comments that you see. And of course, you want to thank viewers for tuning in. So I think those are the main things that you're going to want to focus on. Again, this is all in the name of engagement. And just a quick comment on why you want to generate captions for your live video. Really, the reason, it's really interesting, but most people, they watch video, but they don't have the volume turned on, right? Which is so kind of interesting, shall we say. I don't know why that is exactly. Maybe people are at work, they're, kind of focusing on other things, but regardless of the reason, it's just the way it is. So you're more apt to grab their attention as, again, they're scrolling through the feed if they see captions. So highly recommend that you do that. So, all right, so let's take a quick pause. I want to just summarize some of the things that we've talked about today. So again, this series called Push the Damn Button, it's really intended to help you to really step up and leverage this opportunity for live video. Because again, given everything going on right now in the world, it's super important that you increase your visibility. And I know that can be a little bit stressful and actually even scary. I get that. So my intention is to really help you to become more comfortable with the idea so that you ultimately can expand your reach. That's really the name of the game. I want to help you to get in front of more people that could potentially use your services, use your help, people that potentially need your help. So live video today is probably the absolute best way to accomplish that. So that's really my intention, is, to help you get in front of more people that potentially need your help, and thereby, really help your business become more profitable and frankly, more enjoyable. So that's really the goal here. So what did we talk about today? Well, first we talked about why video beats pre-scheduled or pre-recorded video hands down every time, right? We talked about the fact that, users, your viewers actually are more likely to stay on longer. They're much more likely, like 10 times more likely, to comment and engage on live video versus pre-recorded. And we talked about the fact that, people just prefer live video over any other kind of content. So it's like 80%. So it's really, the writing's definitely on the wall there. And not to mention Facebook favors, they favor live video over other types of content as well. So there's lots of reasons why it's important to move in this direction. And so the second big overarching theme that we talked about today was why you need to reverse engineer your Facebook Lives to ensure that you're providing a desired outcome. So you just want to, don't overthink this, of course, but you just want to think about, what is the main takeaway or takeaways that I want my audience to garner as a result of listening to my live stream. Okay, so just try to be clear on that and really ask yourself, what is in it for them? because again, time is such a limited resource. And so you want to give viewers a reason for tuning into your live video. Ideally, you're going to highlight what they're going to learn upfront to really grab their attention. And then we talked about critical keys to increase engagement with your audience. I shared with you a format, like several things that I like to include in my live stream format, including when to, ask questions, how to increase engagement with comments. And then we talked about what to do before, during, and after your live stream. Remember? So, everything from creating a catchy title to creating an event on your Facebook page, and, make sure that you're sharing that title, or that you're sharing that, I should say, share the event in other groups, really share it, get as many eyeballs as possible on that. And if you create an event, the other nice thing about it is that you can literally invite people to the event. So that's another bonus. You can invite people on Facebook Messenger. So I really like that feature as well. But in order to do that, you need to create an event. All right. So then during your broadcast, you are going to ask easy questions, super easy, where are you from? Those types of questions. You're going to encourage viewers to, share and like and all that good stuff. The other thing that I did want to mention that I omitted earlier. So this is really important as well. It's super important during the broadcast when you're answering questions. People love to hear their name. It's really interesting how that works psychologically. So when you're answering questions that you're seeing in the comments, I would highly recommend that you use the person's name, right? And when you're welcoming people that are showing up into your live stream, also welcome them by name. Super important. All right, so that's during, and then after your live video, and you can do that via, Facebook itself. They offer that service, or you can use a service such as rev.com. And they charge $1 a minute. You're going to circle back. You're going to answer all the questions that you missed. You're going to like all the positive comments, thank viewers for tuning in, and and just address any other questions that should come up. And remember, a lot of times people will catch the, after the fact, right? So after your live stream ends, quite often people are going to catch it afterwards, basically like the recording. So you do want to be cognizant because of the comments and questions that you get from people after the fact as well. So I would definitely recommend that you circle back and just kind of check to see if there's additional comments and questions that come in after the broadcast ends. All right, everybody, that is it for today. I hope this was super helpful. Most importantly, I hope that this is helpful in helping you to push the damn button and go live, right? That is the key. We want to increase your visibility so that you can expand your reach and ultimately help more people. And again, I'm Lesli Bitel. I'm a business strategist and coach for dietitians, integrative, functional health professionals. And honestly, if you are finding yourself just weary of trying to figure it all out on your own in terms of all the business pieces of building your successful private practice, drop me a line. I would love to hear from you. I do have a couple of coaching spots opening in my practice. I only take a very limited number of people into my practice with my one-on-one work. I do happen to have 2 openings coming up this month. So if you would like to chat about that, to see if we are a fit for one another, just drop me a line. You can reach me through Messenger. You can also go directly to the following URL to fill out an application. And that URL is bit.ly, so that's bit.ly /Coach Lesli. And that's capital COACH, capital LESLI. All right. So fill out your application and someone from my team will be in touch to get you scheduled into my calendar so we can chat about your business. I can learn more about, what your challenges are, what are your aspirations for your business, and we can determine if we're a good fit. All right, everybody, stay healthy, stay safe, of course, stay sane, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week. All right, take care, everybody. Bye bye for now.